need our Congress for everyone's benefit. The 1%, they just take what they like. We've got to show up and vote for our rights. So vote in November. Vote, a time to remember. Vote, don't be late. Vote, don't procrastinate. It's our country, our democracy. We can't afford
88 degrees in Minnesota. What
theocracy.
the hell is that? Goddamn world's coming to an end. Shit.
If we do nothing,
Maybe.
our hope floats away.
If we don't pay attention, our hopes float away, baby.
Get up off of that thing.
That's what he says. That's John Lawrence out of Tallahassee.
When it's voting.
Get up off that thing, baby. You're needed. Everything out there is needed, so get off that thing. Get out there, baby. Indeed. Let me see if they look at here. John has buttons. John's got his buttons back. Thank goodness. I hope y'all are having a great day. It is time for a Blue Dot family meeting. Jay Clayton was the first one to jump in, and Stephanie, and they're cooking yeah, I bet you're cooking something. All right, it's a family show here, everybody. I'm just saying. Jeff Curry's here. Nancy Halverson. Mega Wet Willie is with us. Thank goodness. Bart Larson. That smart-ass Squaw Martha's here. Thank you very much. Jeff Curry. I said that. RBW King is here. Michael Johnson. See you in a few days, buddy. Bruce Preston. I said that. Mark Perkins. How you doing, Mark? Got mail? I know you got mail, brother. Anyway, let me see. BW's here. Let me see. Jump on down here. Dorothy Tyndall. Michelle Lindsley. Randy Peterson. Whoo! Pig. Ain't it pretty weather? Just soaking this stuff up, brother. I'm telling you, that's what we do down here. It's a habit. Carol Lowe is here. Debbie Marie. Deborah Douglas. Let me see. Get on down here before we just... Jeanette Miller is here. I'm scrolling. Carolyn and John Matt Jesco. Gonna see y'all in a few days, too. I'm looking forward to that shit. Let me get on down here before I lose my place. And Jerry Wallace, I seen that name go by. Ginger's Chat Show, Virginia Woodley, thank you for being here. Irish Giselle, still rocking that t-shirt, I hope. Anyway, how y'all doing, baby? It is Thursday. It's time for a Blue Dot family meeting, man. How you like them beans? Donnie testified today. Donnie went to court, had to raise his hand, all that kind of shit. Sit there and swore to tell the truth. Do you think he did? God, I better hope he does. He might get his ass in trouble like he ain't in enough already. But, yeah, Donnie had to testify, I don't know, what it was, 6 or 7 hours today in New York in the fraud case against his taxes. How when he filed his taxes, he exaggerated the value of some properties and devalued others, and depending on how you pay your taxes and cook the books, baby, it all came back today, and he had to go in there and sit there and testify. So we don't know what he said yet, but I just can't help but thinking he's nervous, baby. He's nervous. He's got an awful lot coming down on him, and this is just the freaking beginning. Remember, Al Capone went to prison for tax evasion. You know, whatever works is what I'm saying. I don't really give a shit if it's tax evasion or document swindling. Anyway, speaking about documents, hey, they got the guy that leaked all the documents. Are you shitting me? A 21-year-old out of Massachusetts in the Air National Guard. Thought his buddies would be real impressed if he went on Discord, where we are right now, with his little group of buddies and hey, brag a little bit about, hey, look what I got here. These are top secret documents. I can get these all day long. And was showing them, baby. And that hurt us. What makes me think that guy ain't never going to see the outside of a jail cell again. He is, if I'm not mistaken, covered by the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Gave up your kind of constitutional rights when you signed up in the military, buddy. That's the way it works. And I believe it works that way in the Air National Guard. But he had access to it, and he took those secrets and he put them out there for the world to see. So yeah, understand that the news was knocking on him on his door before the SWAT team got there to arrest him. And yes, they sent the SWAT team because that little group he belonged to on Discord is nothing but a bunch of gun nuts, right-wing nut jobs. Go figure. Patriotic assholes, I figure. But yeah, news was already knocking on his door wanting his parents to answer questions. Hey, what do you think about your son being such a traitor to you? Anyway, police showed up and there you go. He's under arrest. And so we're going to watch that story play out as well, which should. All right, let me see if we got Angie here wanting to, where's my cohort in crime here? Get her up in here because Mr. Chick is always, where you at? You got your mic muted. There you
Sorry
are.
about
How are you doing?
that. Well, earlier today, well, you're talking about Donnie, but, there was that 12-year-old stuff you were talking about.
Oh, that guy. Michael
Oh,
Moon. Did you see that? Did you see
did
that?
see that. I
That
did.
did you listen to the tape?
I did. Pretty disgusting.
I want to slap him. I just want to.
But then again, did you see any of what was going on in Tennessee today?
No. I
Well,
did get a little
Angie
distracted
probably
today by.
did. But
I
the
saw.
Justins were back at work today,
Yes. Yes,
and
they
they were
were.
trying to shut them down again.
Really? No, I missed that
Yes.
part. Oh, man. Always miss the good stuff.
Oh, and so Tennessee was acting like 12-year-olds.
The Tennessee
Yeah.
Republicans?
Yes.
I would imagine.
So
Angie?
12 is the number of the day,
I
apparently.
guess so. I guess so. Angie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
good. And just to add to that, the Republicans, since they've gotten so much heat on them, they're trying to wrap up the session and sneak on out of town.
Oh, they
Yeah.
don't want to.
Try
They
to
don't
let
want to
it
stick
die
around.
down.
Come on, man.
That's
It's only
right.
Thursday. Hell yeah, Friday.
Mm.
Let's go. Trying to sneak out of town early? What the
That's
hell?
right.
Are you just a little
Yeah.
bit embarrassed? That's what I would think.
Oh my God, you don't know.
They've made asses out of themselves. And now, as I
Yeah.
understand it, each one of those gentlemen can come back in and file 15 bills. Is that correct?
Yes.
And every one of them. That's 30 bills that are going to be on gun legislation that they're going to face. So let's get after it, baby. You know,
Yeah.
will they win? Probably not.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I am so glad those boys were lifted to a national level because
Indeed.
now they have the contacts. They, you
Oh.
know,
Everything expanded for them. Everything.
yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not
All
to
their,
mention everybody's watching. Everybody's watching.
the whole country's watching.
The whole country can see what dicks they are.
Indeed.
I would love to see what that conversation was between the people that brought those, tried to get them expelled. Brought that order to get them expelled. Because they had to have like a backdoor meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They all got in the
now
back
that-
room and decided to do this.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
just wonder what their conversation is now. Because they're
I hope
really
it starts
looking-
with, boy, did we fuck up.
I know.
Oh, no, they'll never admit that.
No, well, maybe
No.
amongst themselves, I hope.
They're just trying to tighten up all the rules so that
Yeah.
the Dems can't even say a word. That's
They
what they
want
did
to make
today.
up rules is what they want to do to prevent the left from speaking out.
Well,
But
they're
what
twisting them.
But, the
But
more they
one
do this
thing-
shit, the more it puts them in the national spotlight.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah, and there's another thing too going on. I believe those representatives have civil right lawyers now, to where the lawyers are looking at it. That's what That's what was on the news here. It was
Oh, okay.
brief, but it was some kind of something that they have a right to do their job in essence. So there's I hope they report on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But they did have it did have something on the news about that, so we'll see how that turns
I
out.
think we're all paying attention to that story now.
Well, and yeah, you have to look at whether or not, they can claim, oh, well, we're Republicans, they're Democrats, blah, blah, blah. But yet, we can also look and see who's getting discriminated against in general.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it
And,
brings that
and
whole
yeah,
that whole picture.
that's not
to the
allowable.
forefront. No. DJ, how are you
At
doing,
all.
my friend?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. And I
I
watched your
should
rant on
say
YouTube.
JC the hippie. You hippie.
JC,
I swear.
that was my old one years ago, back in the 60s.
Yeah, I seen your videos, buddy. I seen your videos on TikTok.
Yeah.
JC the hippie. Y'all
Yeah,
look
yeah.
up JC the hippie because that DJ. He goes by a different name.
That's me. Yeah, I rant on TikTok. Someday I may go to YouTube and Facebook. Right now,
Uh-oh.
it's comfortable for me.
You're breaking up a little bit,
But I
DJ.
was
Yeah, you're
fixing
coming in
to
kind of fuzzy, DJ.
do what?
You're coming in a little
I'm sorry.
fuzzy and garbly.
Well, I'm on a computer. Is it not working? Let me
I don't know. You're
lower the volume a little bit.
You're breaking up pretty bad.
Hold on a minute.
All right, turn the dial.
Turn the dial.
They ain't got dials no more. They got buttons. Hey, did y'all notice
Turn
that?
more
Look at here.
volume.
Watch this. Watch. Huh? Look at there. Look at there. Look at there. Look at there. John's got buttons. I got my buttons back. Travis came in here and fixed the damn thing. So John's happy I got my buttons back. Anyway, DJ, is that better?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Nope, not
Nope.
yet. Not
Still
yet.
fuzzy.
I'm going to switch to my phone. Just hang on, and I'm going to switch to Discord on my phone. It usually lets me switch over.
All righty.
Okay.
We'll stand by here and see what happens.
Okay.
And
In the
Alright.
meantime,
in the meantime, what else happened today?
back to Tennessee. What
Yeah.
I saw, anyways, today, because I only got a clip of it, was they were voting and or trying to debate. I guess it would be their Senate Bill 817, which had to do with not allowing CRT.
Critical race theory.
Right.
Oh, because that's.
And they were getting shut down on even being able to debate it.
Isn't that
Which-
ignorance at the highest level? I think this whole CRT thing, because anybody that has even glanced at what that is and where it is taught, critical race theory is only taught post college graduate. You're going over for a master's degree or something.
Right, but I think this might have been about that, not about elementary or high school. This might have been about the colleges. I
Really?
didn't see the
Really?
whole
So what does
text.
Tennessee want to do? Outlaw the? Is it Tennessee we're still talking about?
Yes, it's
Oh,
Tennessee. We're
of course
still,
it
yeah. They
is.
just don't want anybody to be able to even talk about
Hey,
it.
I was just
because
talking to
it
somebody.
might
And
hurt somebody to have to think about what might have happened in the
they might have to
past.
realize what we did in history.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we don't want none of that. Learning
We don't
history,
want
you
any
know,
bad
shit. We got to be
feelings
real
there.
selective with that stuff. You know, our children are
Yeah.
very,
My God.
you know, it is. It's frustrating because it's just another one of those social things, one of those bullshit uh, issues that the right goes nuts over. Really,
And
you're
the-
going
and the
nuts over
author-
CRT, and people are walking around with weapons shooting everybody up. But let's worry about CRT.
Well, and the author John Reagan from Oak Ridge, he kept saying, "My belief is in God and fact," and
Really?
and going on from there. And it's
Wait,
like,
God and facts.
okay,
One of those doesn't coincide with the other.
right?
You know, that's not God and facts. Well, let's just stick to facts and leave God out of this stuff.
Right.
Because he's kind of wishy-washy on everything. If you read everything, you can find everything in there for it or against it. It doesn't matter.
in a whole lot of sense.
Anyway, that's a different story. But, yeah. Tennessee's just showing their ass.
Yes,
They
DJ,
are
we
in
do.
the national news because of what? The pure ignorance. And I'm not picking on Tennessee because look at me down here. I got Texas to hold up a big old flag and go, ain't you proud? No, my governor, Greg Abbott, still wanting to pardon that old boy that just murdered that guy on the street just because, you know, Kyle Rittenhouse, you know, and that's it.
Yeah.
He wants Texas to have its own Kyle Rittenhouse. He won't have somebody point to, look at there, that guy killed somebody. Stand your ground. Aren't we proud of him? No. No, I'm not proud of him, and I'm not proud of my governor. Shit.
Well, as we say up here, somewhere south of 8 Mile, it gets a little crazy.
It gets a little crazy after that. Yeah, crazy moved to Texas a long time ago, and they started gerrymandering the shit out of it. So,
Oh dear.
you know, it is. It's like so many other places. It's in the news how, Tennessee is gerrymandered.
Oh, they're all very.
Yeah. If you're a red state, you're probably red because it's gerrymandered, not because the patriotic people of the state. Those people are trying to vote blue. I think you just negate their vote. But yes, Mike, what's his name? God damn it. Moon, Mike Moon,
Mike Moon.
Michael Moon, Mike Moon, out of Missouri. Y'all see? I know Miss Chick did. Anybody saw my rant earlier today should know who Mike Moon is. He's a state senator out of Missouri.
And this 12-year-old couple that he's talking about,
I want to
we don't
see
even
that.
know if they exist.
I want him to point to Missouri is the show me state. Show me that 12-year. They got married at 12 years old, boy and girl. They got
They were pregnant. They
Yeah,
got
got a little
married.
thing going on there, and the
Well,
parents
that's
just
what
said,
you
"Right,
do.
y'all got to get married, because God."
Gotta have
And
baby.
so they got married, and they're still happily married to this day.
So is that like a year? Has that been a year?
I want to, yeah. Is that last year? These are friends of his, so he should, point them out, because I'm really interested to see this couple that got married at 12 years old. But what's disgusting is the fact that the reason this came up, as I saw, thank you, Smart Ass Squaw saw my video, and Bart Larson saw it. For those that you didn't, let me fill you in. The debate is about transgender rights for children. And Mr. Moon is arguing that, nope, can't have that, can't be having no transgender issues with kids. When they get 21, maybe they can do their own thing, but until then, not in my state, you ain't going to do it. Or is it 18? It doesn't matter. He's saying, nope, can't see a doctor about it, can't do nothing. Parents don't have any rights. Well, a Democratic House member stood up and challenged him. I didn't get that person's name, and I apologize for that. But what they stood up and pointed out with this Mike Moore, in defense of a 12-year-old getting married, let that soak in for just a second. Defending the right of a 12-year-old to marry an adult. Okay? If the parents say it's okay, there you go. And the kid has to say it's okay. As long as the kid says it's okay and the parents say okay, hey, what do you know? And the challenge came during that, and he said, well, do you know, Mike Morris Moon stood up and said, well, do you know any 12 years old married? And the Democrats said, no, I don't, and I'm glad I don't. Well, I do, sir, and they're still married. Bragging about this shit. So, I want Mr. Moon to produce that couple. I want to see if he's lying through his teeth, because I think he is.
But John,
Go
I
ahead.
think the point would be
Yes.
that the 12-year-olds weren't legal to get married, were they? I thought they had to be 14. I thought the age.
Well,
had
ain't
been
that
14.
a stretch? But he's arguing for a 12-year-old.
Or was it that they argued? Maybe they argued to move it up to 14. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe that's what they were doing. But here's the rub. Out of one side of his mouth, he is saying that parents should be the deciding factor on what their child does. Meaning, if they get married, hey, it's up to the parents. Oh, but you want your child to see a doctor because your child thinks they may be transgender? Oh, no, the parents don't have a say in that. So it's out of two sides of his mouth. It's either the parents have rights over their children or they don't. And he wants it split both ways.
Yeah.
And that's the stupidity just the pure moronic. Besides the fact of, like, somebody wrote wrote a message on there that said, I think we need to search his hard drives. Yeah. If he's thinking 12-year-olds can get married, maybe we ought to take a look at his hard drives and his thumb drives and everything else he's online with.
Yeah.
Let me thank Maria Betancourt, who came in with a $10 donation. Maria, thank you very much, darling. And said, State Representative Sapecki, I'm gonna have to swallow this. Seeing Mr. Jones back up here, walking those hallowed halls that the greats of Tennessee stood in, outstanding. I'm gonna have to swallow this. Seeing Mr. Jones back up there, walking these hallowed halls that the greats of Tennessee stood in. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. State representative.
It's a quote.
Is he a Republican? I'm
Yeah.
guessing. Are
Just
you?
exactly what is he swallowing? That's what I
Yeah.
want
What
to
are
know.
you swallowing? I'm gonna have to swallow this and let him back in here. I just have to suck it up because ain't nothing I can do. If I could, I'd throw his ass out again. That's what he's basically saying.
Pretty much.
What a jackass. Seems to be no shortage of jackasses in the Republican Party, whether you're talking about state politics or national politics. It seems that the Republican Party they're just chasing farts in the wind every which way. But as long as it's a social issue, I smelled that, and you can't be doing that around here. You know, it's ridiculous. But that's where we are,
That is where we are.
and that's how come we have to be the sane ones in the House. We have to keep our nose to the grindstone. We have to pay attention. We can get all the laughs we want out of this shit, but this is serious stuff.
You know, again, one of the issues here was CRT, of course, that they're still bantering that around. And then let's not forget about the books.
The books.
You know, the banning
It's
of the books.
books. You gotta ban them books.
Well, in the first attempt, we're going to ban it in the schools, and for all whatever reasons, be it age-appropriate material or la la la.
Oh, but we
in the
can't stop there.
classrooms.
No, that's
Right?
not the only place there's books. You know where else there's books?
Well, in the second attempt is, well, you know what? Kids can get into public libraries
go.
too.
There you
We
go.
better not. We better not
And
let
them in there.
No, they want to defund
Yes,
them.
you did.
They want to defund them
Defund
so they don't.
them. And
pay
isn't
for
it?
these.
Isn't
They
it?
did. They did in Missouri. They passed the bill defunding the public libraries in the state of Missouri. The bill
Exactly. I was getting to that.
You sound
point,
better,
is,
DJ.
The third attempt is
Well,
just plain eliminate any state funding to any public libraries anywhere is where they're going.
passed. Right. Well, my computer was doing a backup. I ran out of space on my hard drive, so I was backing it up and deleting files, and so I didn't know it was still doing it. That's what was the problem on the
Okay.
computer.
Well, you sound great now, so
Yeah.
you're fixed up. Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to talk about Tennessee for a minute again. Did
Uh-huh.
you probably, I don't know, it doesn't sound like you guys heard the discussion between the one of the Tennessee representatives and with the representative that voted against expelling what's her name, Gloria Johnson. They had a big ruckus in their caucus meeting where
I'm sure they
the
did.
two of them kind of got into it.
Sure they
And
did.
I put the conversation out on TikTok, and they were accusing this guy who voted no to expel her of causing all the racism. They said, "Oh, if you would have expelled her, then we wouldn't have to worry about this." Now
They're mad at a fellow Republican.
Yeah, 'cause it was one vote. It was
Yeah,
literally one vote.
she slipped by one vote, and we should all praise the Republicans for that. I'm sorry.
But they would have just done the same thing with her. They would have brought her back too. I'm sure they
Exactly.
would have.
Exactly.
So I don't know what his
But
point is.
they're
He's
arguing, well, at least we wouldn't look racist.
That's right.
That's what
exactly
they're
what
saying.
they're arguing.
Because we did it to the two black men and not the white
Right.
woman, we look like racists. That's what you're concerned about,
Well,
what you
are
look like?
racist.
Yes.
It's not about justice or anything like that. They're worried about what they look like, what they appear to be.
Well, they're not doing a very good job.
No.
Of it.
No.
Not in Tennessee and not in the rest of the states. Missouri. I hope somebody in Missouri, really, I want to see that 12-year-old couple that got married with their parents' permission. I want to see that.
The gender affirming bill that prohibits it did pass
In Missouri,
in Missouri.
see? Any gender
Now I think it
affirming
goes
care.
to the Senate.
That means
Goes to the Missouri Senate.
that you can't send your child to a therapist to
Right.
discuss this issue because it's illegal.
Right.
You can't do anything to address the issue that your child might be transgender. And oh my God, it ain't like they ain't been here since, I don't know, God. You know, it's a part of a part of culture all through history. But it's another one of those social issues that the right can grab hold of, shove up their butt, and fly around the back of the moon for 10 days, you know, and scream about it. It riles their base up. Say it on the transgender. My kid is male, aren't you, Susie? I mean, Bob. You know, whatever. It's ridiculous. It's almost all the issues they have are all social issues. They have nothing to stand on legislatively.
And
Yeah,
again,
I
they
need to
want
go
to
out and
keep
buy
the
a case of Bud
constituents
Light.
stupid.
Oh, hold on to your britches
It is
tomorrow.
stupid.
I got a big can of freaking Bud Light, not a little bottle. I got a big ass
Yeah.
bottle. Yeah, I'm going to address
Well,
that tomorrow.
There's bars in Wyoming that are banning it now. I mean, the cowboy bars are banning it. It's just
Nah, isn't
ridiculous.
that stupid?
Well, you know what's really ridiculous is
Ain't drinking no beer.
Anheuser-Busch donates money to PACs, right?
Yes.
Anheuser-Busch is a, what
the
is
biggest,
it called?
well, not one of the biggest, but they're a big
they're a major donor.
right?
Yeah.
And if you look at their donor list or the who they donate to, it's mostly Republicans.
They're cutting their own throat.
They're cutting their own throats.
Yeah.
Too bad for them.
And that's exactly
And
what
they
Anheuser-Busch
also-
should do is if, you're not going to sell Bud Light? Well, I'm sorry if you can't buy Bud Light. You can't buy any of other products.
But,
We'll just
but it
jerk
isn't
our
working
whole
anyway.
Budweiser
So I don't
line,
know if
all
Budweiser
of it.
even cares.
That's what they ought to
I
do.
don't care.
You know,
I'll tell you something about Anheuser-Busch. I worked there in the 90s for more than a year, and I worked on a system that was called BudNet. BudNet was a just-in-time inventory system that they were writing for the distributors. See, if if distributors can't get their inventory, Anheuser-Busch goes under. They're the lifeblood of Anheuser-Busch. So they basically have to make sure they've got inventory.
if you
Okay.
ain't got the product out there, nobody's going to buy it.
And you got to be able to order it before you run out. And that's
Sure.
what they were trying to do, set up an inventory system to order before they ran out. And what happened was I was working on that system and I got into the system and I ran into their advertising.
We lost you, DJ. We
We're
lost
not hearing you, DJ.
Not at all, buddy. Not a word. You got into their. They heard you. See, they
Yes,
were
can you hear me
listening to.
now?
Evidently, they let you back on the show.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear
Yep.
you now.
Well,
Oh, no,
I
no.
worked for Anheuser-Busch in the 90s, and I was saying that I worked on BudNet, which is
I think they hear you.
just-in-time inventory. You heard that, right?
Yes, I did. I think
Yeah.
they hear you, buddy. I think there's.
Okay, well, the thing about it is that I got into their system and I was looking around in it because I was helping fix it up and install it and expand it. And I found their advertising information. And one of the groups that they targeted was the gay and lesbians. They weren't called LGBT then, they were just gay and lesbian. And they really targeted gay men with Budweiser. I mean, they really had a special type of ad that they put out that they would use to try and get gay men as customers.
It's part of the
This was in the
demographic. Why
90s.
wouldn't they? Any business.
Yeah,
They
Why would you
target all
turn away
demographics. They want to
customers?
sell alcohol to everybody.
they
Anybody.
had more than 90 categories
a
of
product.
advertising for different
I
groups.
swear.
Yes,
These
there's nothing wrong with
right
that.
wing nut jobs are a little sensitive, aren't they?
Well,
What do they call that?
they should realize it's been going on forever at Anheuser-Busch. It's nothing new.
Hey, I saw Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
What are you trying to hide out there, buddy? Are you a little self-conscious about this issue? I'm just saying. If Kid
Well,
Rock
you know what?
I seen pictures of Kid Rock all dressed up with his makeup on and stuff and hugging the gay pride flag. So evidently,
Kid
I
Rock
can
is
only
a-
assume as an innocent customer out here to social media that Kid Rock must be gay because I saw a picture of him.
He's a stain
He's
on
a closet gay.
Michigan.
That's what he is.
No.
You're right, James Price. Kid Rock is a silver spoon piece of freaking shit trying to act like he's some good old boy from the holler. That's exactly who he is. And while we're at it, let's throw Ted Nugent in there too. You know, the guy that shit his pants just to stay out of it.
Yeah.
No, let's just throw Ted. We don't
Yeah,
have
let's
to do anything other than
He's
just
living
throw
in
him.
California.
Throw his
now.
ass out.
He's
I
from
mean, both of
Harrison,
them, they're
Michigan.
birds. Kid Rock, he latched on to the redneck culture when they embraced him, and he just loves it. That's what it is. He's sucking up to the only people left to hold on to his ass.
He's a loser.
He's a
and
piece
he
of
flies
shit.
that big
and I hope
American
he
flag in the back on the
you know.
stage. I mean, he drives me nuts.
Yeah, he shows up here too.
Well, Ted Nugent's from Harrison.
Yeah, I know.
Harrison,
He used to
Michigan,
come up
over in
around
Blair
here
County.
too.
Yeah.
I'll
I
take
used
Bob
to go up
Seger any
to
day.
Harrison,
Well,
and
I
I'd talk to
understand
people.
purchases of Bud Light has gone up since this incident. You do know that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm out in Wyoming where I was talking about. Some of the people were saying Bud Light was never very good, and they always buy Coors Light. Well, you're talking about the West. That's different than the East. Okay. And Budweiser, in fact, back in the 70s,
I'm more partial to
you could
you know,
uh,
everybody that knows me knows that John's a little more partial to Mexican beers. I like Corona.
Yeah.
I like.
If you're a
those-
discriminating beer drinker, you don't drink any of that crap.
Oh, is that
well,
really?
in the 70s, if you brought Coors across the state line from Kansas, they would make you pour it out. If the state patrol stopped you in Missouri, they'd make you pour all the beer out. Sorry,
Really?
stop it. All the
I'd tell
beer
him to kiss my ass. How's that?
I'll give.
That's a good
Just a
thing I
lot of
don't travel a
Coors,
lot of
Coors
places.
in Missouri in the 70s. It only late 70s, early 80s did they take that law out and remove it so they could have Coors.
Well, let me back up over the state line over here. Why don't you just sit there and watch me drink every damn one of them? And don't come over
Well, we
and
used
arrest
to-
me for being drunk, because you're not in your...
When we crossed over into Kansas, first thing we did was buy some Coors. That's when we were, going west for some reason.
When I was in Adak, Alaska, we used to put Coors in the bomb bay of the aircraft, fly it up there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very limited about, it's the only way you're getting beer on that island is somebody brings it in, and we brought it in by the case
I
loads.
could imagine. That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
isolated.
Yeah. Beer was cold, too. You had to turn the heaters on in the bomb bay or the shit would freeze. Yeah, we learned our lesson quick on the first
No, frozen beer is no good.
No.
I'll just say microbrewery.
Micro-
Microbrewery.
You know,
Support your local microbrewery.
it's funny you should say that. You don't have Alexa. Are you listening to my house? We have a new restaurant right down the street on 624, heading into Corpus Christi from out here in the boondocks. A new place is called the Railway, and it's a nice big place. They just built it all. I watched them build it from the concrete on up. Watched them install all the tanks and necessary equipment for a microbrewery, and that's what it is, a brewery / steakhouse. Oh, and it's set right back in a bunch of mesquite trees. It looks real nice. It looks real pretty. And that's one of the places I want to try to. Mama's on a roll
Well,
of going places.
In the United States, Anheuser-Busch owns a lot of the microbreweries.
Oh,
they
they
actually
own
own
a lot of the brands that are sold in the
Yeah,
stores.
some of the
too.
ones that aren't so micro
Right,
anymore.
they're not micro
Yeah.
anymore. They're on the national market.
We have an independent one 2 miles from me. It's called Main and Mill because it's at the corner of Main and Mill Streets.
Oh, there
But
you
it's
go.
going to cost you $30 for a hamburger and a beer.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the downside of that, ain't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why so many people drink Bud
But
Light.
you're supporting small business as opposed to corporate America.
That's right. You're supporting a local business, and any time you could do that, it is better. At any level, that if you can support a local businessman, it's and it doesn't hurt your pocket too bad. You should do that. Before we bring the international flair into the room, come on, ding, because I just seen you go by. I'm going to do it early. Y'all go to wait for the ding. Where's my mouse? Come on,
Here it
don't
comes.
do that to me. Oh,
Come on,
come
ding.
on. My mouse.
He's
ain't
up
working.
there. I see him.
My
I
mouse
see
ain't working.
Ozzy's in the room.
Ah, Aussie Dave.
Yo, mate.
How you
Yo.
doing, brother?
Hey, what's been happening in America? More like the question, like, hey,
Nothing.
2 days
You know,
since
Just
2
another
days
day.
since I've been in America. On 2 days since I've been talking to America, and you've got Webster Barnaby in Daytona calling the LGBTQ and all those ABCs, like mutants and imps and X-Men.
They got all sorts of names
and then
for
you
it,
got
Dave.
then that's number one. Then you got $200 million worth of Jack Smith saying, "I want to speak to Mr. Trump." He collected $200 million fucking dollars
Hey, did
for
y'all
legal defenses
see where
to
Stephen Miller
claim
already?
this shit.
Stephen Miller
And he
already
knew
testified.
he never. Yes, but Trump knew when he asked that $200 million or the donations in December of 2020, but he was going to fight this 2020 election. he was going to use it for legal tax fees. He'd never used a cent of it. He has spent it, and that's called wire fraud, I believe.
Yes.
Did they
So
expect anything different out of him? He's been a crook all his life. Why would they think he was going to do anything less than swindle them out of their money and misappropriate the use of it? That's what he does.
He's going down deep.
I hope so.
Fox, they've discovered these tapes that this producer had recorded secretly of her being, pressured into lying for the company, and also her talking to Giuliani and a couple of others, and then one of the campaign people, and they said, oh no, the machines were right. The numbers are pretty right in the machines. They had nothing. They told the producer they basically had nothing, but they still pushed the big lie. I mean, it's all coming down around their fucking ears, guys.
I can't wait. For me, it's pure entertainment. Strike up the band, baby. I'm ready for it. Let me thank Keith Thompson, who came in with a $2 donation and said, just bought a 12 of Bud Light Platinum. Not bad. There you go, Keith. Keith, cheers, buddy. Cheers. I'm going to enjoy every damn sip of mine.
Trump still threatens the Bragg and the Department of Justice members. He's still threatening them. This guy's got a death threat. I'm sure he's got a death threat. I just don't understand what man. You got sharks biting at your feet, and you know you're screwed, and yet he still tries to attack and not appease. He hasn't said once, let's talk about this, has he?
No.
He probably hasn't said once, let's talk about this.
No.
And he's also been discovered now that Jack Smith's asking people about, did Donnie show you a map? But apparently Donnie's got this map. I had this map that was full of top secret details of military movements in Ukraine. He took from the White House, and he apparently showed it to a lot of people. And
it's
one
probably
being
got a lot of magic markers on it.
Does it surprise you? Does that surprise you, Dave, that might be a possibility that an American president would do?
But his reply to it was, well, I'm allowed to do that. I'm the fucking president.
That's what he said.
Well, he wasn't the president.
Thinks he could do anything as he was. All he had to do is think it. Remember? Unclassified document, all he had to do is think it
he wants for the
with
rest
his
of his
mind.
life.
That's it, Mitchy Chick. He thinks because he was president once, he's king God forever. He's untouchable.
He thinks he still is. I got news for him. That's fixing to come down. That whole
do
facade
you not
of
think,
his. But they won't care.
But do you not think when he mentioned to Fox that apparently the government paid, I don't know, I think it was Reagan, he said, or Nixon, $18 million for the documents he had? Did you hear that comment Trump made on Fox?
I did not hear that one.
Oh, no.
I'd like to see that transaction receipt.
Has he asked them personally?
Yeah.
I will definitely post that. He on the Fox interview, he said, look, he held his hands out like he does.
Is that where he's with Tucker Carlson?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I saw parts of it.
He says, they paid Nixon $18 million to get back stuff he had. Nixon took it, he could have it, and they bought it back off him. So what's he doing? Dropping a hint to the American government? Give me $18 million or $20 million, whatever it may be, with inflation.
I don't think
he's
delusional.
Mate, he's out of control.
He's delusional in an evil way. He does. He thinks he has powers. He doesn't. I would have loved to have been. Come on, Grim Reaper. I'm rooting for him, James. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall and see how he handled today's deficit, because he could not take the fifth. Because in this situation, if he takes the fifth, the jury can legally imply that he is guilty of whatever it is they're discussing, because he don't want to talk about it.
That's good.
Yeah, they were talking
I'm
about
sick of that
today.
fucking fifth shit.
I don't want to hear I want to take the fifth. Well, you have a right to shut up. I have a right to assume that you're just guilty as shit. Because an honest man would answer the questions. And that's not Donnie. Donnie is anything but the honest man in any scenario.
And Jim Jordan, he looks like a bigger fool today than he did yesterday. That guy is unbelievable, isn't he?
Didn't think it was possible, did you?
No, I didn't.
No.
Just how deep can you dig a well anyway? Where is Bob?
Well, why is he going to New York? He's even now decided to go. Since he was sanctioned or told off by Bragg, he's decided to go to New York and hold some meeting over there. I don't know where this Jim Jordan's lost his way. I think Jim Jordan's trying to distract.
Crime in New York City. He's trying to throw the.
He's got his lips so far up Donnie's ass, it's not funny. And the only thing I can assume.
He's trying to move the focus.
Yeah, well, the only thing jumping out, Jack Jordan, whatever his name is the only thing is he's the loudmouth cheerleader to make noise, to make the distractions, to try to keep us from looking at what the hell they're doing, or to look at Donnie, or to look at anything. Because he's just I'll roll my sleeves up and I'm going to holler and beat on this desk for a while, and by God, and he doesn't say shit.
But we've gotten so used to the circus, we don't even care
That's
anymore.
That's it. It is
stupid because he's not a lawyer. He's going up against an attorney, and
he went to law school, but he never passed the bar.
Yeah,
he never became a lawyer. He went to law school, wasn't smart enough. He was too busy in the locker room. Anyway, let me send out a big thank you to Timothy Silva Jr., who came in with a $20 donation. Timothy, thank you very much, and said, y'all pay attention, wise words here. 2024 will be a crucial election where democracy is on the ballot once again. The fascist MAGA must be defeated, and the Democrats must regain the House and keep the Senate and the presidency. Our freedoms depend on large turnout. From your mouth to God's ears, baby. I'm telling you, that in a nutshell is the whole reason we do this show. I stand on my head, whatever it is. Get the pom-poms. I don't know what I'm doing out here, and I haven't known for 7 years. Only one thing. Try to motivate people to be involved in this system, to pay attention to what's going on, because there's serious shit on the line. Maybe not for me. Maybe not for you. Hell, we're fucking old. I'll probably die before half this shit comes to fruition. But I got kids. I got a family that I want to see prosper in the world ahead. I may not be here to see what kind of weather we have or what kind of financial situation we have, but I'm going to fight my ass off to leave it in a better place than what we found it in. And isn't that what every generation's goal should be? It's not how much you have, how much you can collect in wealth. How many fucking yachts do you need, Betsy DeVos? You know, it's that kind of sick richness feeling that just has infected so many. Anyway, Timothy Silva, thank you very much.
It's also the lack of empathy. Like I see this week, the Republicans voted against giving the poor, hungry school children that can't afford food, their parents are struggling, a free lunch. But yet the very next vote was about increasing their next vote was increasing their food allowance, their lunch allowance, and they passed that.
They will fight tooth and nail for a child be born, but once it takes its first breath, the Republicans could give two shits about it.
Yep, babies can have babies, but don't feed
a 12-year-old could have a baby. That's just fine. Oh, you want food stamps for that baby? Get a job. You're old enough to have that baby. You're old enough to go get
you can get a job at 14.
Yeah,
you only got 2 years after you have that baby.
It's what kind of
bullshit.
It is bullshit.
That bullshit.
It is, Dave.
Marrying a 12-year-old, isn't that marrying a 12-year-old, isn't that Middle East or Sharia law or something? It's one of those.
Sound like it, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
We're talking about the
Doesn't it? And we have a Missouri state senator standing in the House of his state and arguing that a 12-year-old should have the right to get married, you know, because, hey, she's really into Bob over there.
Mum and Dad says it's okay. Well, Bob could be 50.
Bob could be 50. And Bob could offer Mom and Dad here, oh, let me give you a few $1,000s. Let me marry your daughter. Okay, we're poor, so yeah, we'll take that deal. I don't know what scenario you come up with to justify that kind that bullshit. But that's who Mike Moore is. Mike Moon.
In Arabia, I think they swap camels for the daughters, don't they? Or they swap goats or camels for the children?
If you don't think that the Republican religious right would implement some kind of a Sharia law in this country, in a heartbeat, baby. God's law. If they had a way to do it, that's why we have separation of church and state. That's why we try to hold on to it. Because we used to. But now, since Ronald Reagan, the religious right has realized their political power. And they have preachers in pulpits all around this country preaching that bullshit. and making it sound godly, making it sound American, and it's anything but. That's what bothers me. But they use
John?
religion. Yes.
The age of consent in Missouri is 16 with parental permission.
Well, now, Mike
Otherwise,
knows a couple that got
it's-
married at 12.
Yeah, and otherwise it's 21, and a 21-year-old cannot marry an 18-year-old. Those are the rules in Missouri.
Well, somebody needs to inform Mike Moon about that, because evidently Mike
obviously
wants to
he's
change
ignorant.
the law, because,
Well,
old
maybe
enough
his
to
friends don't
bleed.
live in Missouri. Don't know.
He's sick. That whole argument of his was sick, and I really do hope
Very sick.
somebody holds his ass to account. You produced that couple that got married when the boy was 12 and the girl was 12 because they got pregnant. You show me that couple. Because
He
if
said
not,
American
that
he
people-
is pulling shit
If you-
out of his ass.
Yeah. He
If
claims
you
he
want to
met
see a
them in college.
pedophile in the closet, look at that man. Right? There's your pedophile in the closet.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's what somebody said. Somebody needs to go look at that man's hard drives. If you're arguing the fact that it's okay for a 12-year-old to be married and all that implies, you're a sick son of a bitch. And you need
That's
to get out of
exactly what
fucking
I thought.
politics. That's what everybody in Missouri
exactly.
needs to write to him and say. Get the hell out. Did we lose Karen? We do, because I see her hand up.
You cannot be a God-loving, God-fearing person if you accept it's okay for a 50-year-old, 40-year-old to sleep with a 12-year-old.
Uh-oh, somebody's got their
You're getting an echo, Dave.
Karen, you gotta shut your stuff off.
That was funny.
Yeah, you made a funny there.
I made it fun.
Hear me?
Yep.
Is it as bad as it was before?
Let me see.
No,
No, not
A
too
little
bad.
better. A little better.
I mean, can you hear
Right.
me without it going in and out?
We can hear you
Yeah.
now without the, yeah.
Yes.
Good. Well, I was going to make a comment on those two 12-year-olds. You
Uh-oh.
know, he never did say it was a pair of 12-year-old humans. Could have been a set of damn dogs that got married.
Maybe he just got confused. Maybe he just got confused and can't figure that out. Whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know what the excuse that man had. I was just in the I did not see that news until I was hunting around for what to yell at about today in the world news and everything, and I was pegging in on this guy that's getting arrested for being a spy. And then all of a sudden I read that story, and it's just bouncing around in my head with all sorts of questions for this guy. And so once it's in there, it's it's only one place it's going to go is out my mouth. Are you shitting me?
I don't know how many times they looped through his arrest today on the news. They just kept,
They,
talking about it over and over.
this
Who's
guy
arrested?
that's the guy that was leaking
Airman first
documents.
class. Yeah, the airman first class.
Oh,
of the
okay, yeah,
National
okay,
Guard.
I'm sorry, yes.
Jack
They were
Douglas
looping through his
Yeah,
arrest
forgive me, yeah.
over and over.
Yeah,
showing
they're
the
showing
SWAT
it every
team
5
arresting.
seconds.
Yeah.
Oh,
But this Republican state senator, if he gets re-elected, that's fucked up. Because I'm pretty sure that vote was not made very public when it happened. Because
Evidently.
I think there would have been a
I
bit
hope
more
somebody
uproar about it.
realizes
No.
the argument that he is making, that it is okay for a parent to give their parental consent for their 12-year-old to marry an adult, but they don't have the right to take their child to a doctor about a transgender issue. He's saying in
Yeah,
one
that's what they
hand,
were voting
oh,
on.
parents have
They were
rights.
not
What
married.
it tells the sickos out there, is, oh, hang on. So
I need
I'm
to
a
move to
pedophile.
Missouri. That's the key there.
I can handle a 12-year-old in Missouri.
There you
Because
go.
if you can marry one, you can handle
And if
one.
you get in
the
trouble,
wrong
okay,
way.
hell, call
Dave,
Mike
If
Moon.
it's a 12-year-old male and it's an adult female, they get arrested. But if it's an adult male with a 12-year-old girl, is what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Either
I
way.
understand that. What I'm saying
Either
is, plenty of people have been jailed for molesting or touching up a 13-year-old or 14-year-old or 15-year-old.
Yes.
Okay, they're in jail for that.
Yeah,
What
one
he's
of the
saying
Maybe
is-
totally
Mr.
women-
Moon thinks they should not be. I don't know.
That's
Did
correct.
did
Well,
the
maybe
kid
those are-
consent? Are you shit?
Exactly. Did the
Just
kids
that
consent?
question
That's
coming.
their angle.
There's your angle right there. Did they give consent? Like that makes a goddamn difference.
He calls it parental rights.
Yes, that's what he was arguing. Parental rights. That a parent has the right to control their child, has everything to do with that child. If that child wants to get married, Moon thinks they should be. But you want your child to go because you think he's gay or something over here. We won't have any of that gay stuff here
But
in
that
Missouri.
same
Right.
child can't decide anything else. Just about
Isn't that a
Selling your
parental right?
child into slavery is illegal. Selling your child into slavery is illegal. Giving your child for slavery is illegal. And this is no different in a way.
It's no different. You know,
No.
now I
And the
assume
thing
that
about
there is
parental
nobody
rights-
in Missouri right now with a 12-year-old contemplating marriage. I'm sure that's not happening right now.
I don't know.
I'm
myself.
relatively sure. But
And if he's parental rights, why is he advocating the right of parents to choose, help their child choose the sex they want to be?
there you go. That's exactly what I'm saying, DJ, is you can't have it both ways. You can't stand up on the floor and protect a parent's right when it comes to the sex life of their child, but you can't step in when the child is trying to determine what sex they are. You know, it's like, come on, man. Do you not see this shit at all? Are you that stupid? Yes, he is. As a matter of fact, the first thing when I went to go look, there's the picture of it, and my first thought was, well, don't you look like a doofus son of a bitch? That's my first thought. But, you know, looks don't mean anything. I'm sure people look at me all day long and say, make all sorts of comments. I don't really give a shit. I know I'm
Well, he
ugly.
was the quintessential caricature of the GOP of the Southern base.
Is that
Yes,
what
he
it
is.
What he was.
And the problem with
I
Missouri is
reckon they're
it's so
proud of
red
him
right
today.
now, and it's so gerrymandered and red in Missouri right now. He probably won't get kicked out of office.
No. They're probably, drinking a Bud Light to him right now.
And
Yeah.
they just passed a
Or
12%
Coors, I'm sorry.
or a 3% tax on marijuana here in Missouri.
Shut
so
up.
now, depending on where you live,
Just don't
you
bring
end up-
that shit in here. Nah, we ain't
No,
going
I'm
to talk
just
about it.
saying,
You just coming in here bragging,
depending on
we
what-
got legal weed over here.
Hey,
I know
well,
how this
John,
shit goes.
depending on where you live,
There's
you're going
a
to pay
picture.
either 3 to 12% tax on marijuana now because they passed a luxury tax on it. But here's what they're doing in the state legislature. They are now, and I don't know if they passed it or not, but there's a bill in the House to eliminate the sales tax on guns and ammo. And
Well, of course they
so
would.
there's no sales tax
Well, let's
on guns and
increase it.
ammo.
Let's increase it on the pot. And would I mind
But
paying
they've
an extra
increased
2
it
or
on the
3% on the
luxury
pot?
item.
No, I wouldn't. But
It's a luxury tax on marijuana.
yeah. Well, for some of us, it's not a luxury at all. It's as a matter of fact, Texas is making inroads. We are have an issue up there right now. I don't know if it's passed yet or not. It's in the House. It is to broaden the reasons, the symptoms that you have to get medical marijuana in Texas. You can get medical marijuana in Texas. If you can jump high enough through a lot. I mean, there's so many hoops, it's ridiculous. If you go in and try to get it, it's going to be a year before you even find out. Anyway, they are trying to broaden the horizon on who can get it and for what pieces, what problems, and one of them is chronic pain.
I
Shit.
have a
I
Michigan
got a lot of
medical
chronic
marijuana card, John.
Huh.
And you know how I got it?
What?
I got it online with an interview with the doctor who was fishing in Wisconsin when he diagnosed
Yeah,
me.
see? Yeah, we can't. You got to show up in Austin to see the doctor. That you want it? Hey, you want it? Drive to Austin. There's a doctor there you can see. Let me thank Michael Johnson, who just came in the room with $2 and said, cue the banjos for Jethro Moon. Fuck Trump, fuck Abbott, and Budweiser.
Jethro Moon, I like that.
Huh? Jethro Moon.
So, John,
Jethro Moon.
I
Yes.
think you're just going to have to leave Texas, temporarily for some medical advice and or get some
Evidently.
medications.
Do you know how far away the closest border to me is? American border. I can go to Mexico real easy. It's just right down the road. As a matter of fact, I'll be going there soon. Within the next week. Not to Mexico, but close enough. Got to go take care of some graves that have been unattended for a long time in this family. We're going to go up there and take care of some graves.
So, what is your closest, Colorado or?
New Mexico is
New Mexico.
actually, I think, the closest recreational state, and that is probably about, I don't know, 700 miles from me. So, anyway,
It's a weekend trip.
yeah, it's getting out of Texas for me is half of any trip I take. Just getting out of Texas. Once we get out of Texas, look at here, Louisiana. Oh, boy, that's gone. What the hell? Arkansas? Boom, we're out. No. There's an old saying in Texas, the sun has risen, the sun has set, and here I am in Texas yet. It takes you forever to get out of this state. But, yeah, New Mexico, closest place. But I want to see it. I want to see our state advance. The only reason that we still hold it so illegal down here is because we have a big freaking border with Mexico, and that's where most of the illegal used to come from. And we get a whole lot of money for the drug war, and we'd like to keep it that way here in Texas. That's why it's illegal.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's not because drugs.
Follow the money.
Well, I find that
Follow the money,
very
baby.
funny
Follow
about
the money. Indeed. And Texas takes advantage of that.
But marijuana's not the thing that's coming across the border at
No,
this
it's not.
point. 'Cause
No,
we've got
no.
it here.
We grow it all over the country nowadays. Don't worry, it's being shipped here from everywhere. And it is.
Yeah.
It's available here in Texas. I mean, they have places. I'm sure some people may know that may have some available, but you can't go into a store here and buy that shit. And the way it is
I like
right now,
the
out of
fact
my
that
price range, baby.
Marjorie Taylor Greene sinks herself with the argument about, well, when Donald Trump was president, he was seizing 6,500 kilos a month of illegal drugs coming over the border. And now that Biden's president, she says, has gone up. That's gone up to 3 times the amount they are seizing, nearly 200,000 kilograms or something of marijuana.
So it sounds like
cannabis.
Biden's doing a better job of grabbing it.
Exactly.
She can't do
Exactly
math.
how
The
I
problem
read it.
is
She
failed
just
math.
Sonia C. Good
She
for
just
him.
slapped Trump in the face that Biden's doing a better job. She thought she was implicating Biden's bringing more drugs in, but no, she sank herself.
Leave it to Marjorie Taylor Greene to shove her foot in her
Well,
mouth.
she is one stupid little
She
trick.
is, isn't she? She makes it. I don't know. That's Georgia's 14th district. I know that. Why would I know Georgia's 14th district?
Dalton,
Because
Georgia,
your
is in there.
congresswoman is a freaking idiot. You can't do no better than that, really? Nobody in your whole damn district? Jesus, please, get off your ass. Find
Remember,
somebody.
she was never voted in, John. She was never
She
voted in
got
the
in.
first time.
No, she had no opposition.
She didn't have any
the first time.
opposition the first time, but she did the second time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's the
And-
rub. Really, you
On the big
reelected her
lie. On the big lie.
because she had an R
On the
next
big
to her
lie.
name, and you didn't know that meant for. I don't know.
I tell you, if
That
Tennessee
face.
lawmakers could get their hands out of the pharmaceutical pocket, then we might get it marijuana legal around here.
Yeah, my brother's waiting on that too. He's having to make a road trip, but his border's not as far away. He lives in Tennessee, so how far away can the border be? Unless you're going east and west.
He uses
Mark-
CBD, doesn't he? That oil? Is that what Travis uses?
We have CBD.
Cannabis oil.
Travis doesn't use anything.
Now, what's the gummies like? See, we don't have that over here, gummies, and
Mine
we
tastes
have
like
the
lemon.
oil.
Shut up.
Mine is like lemon gumdrop.
Shut up.
What do they give you the same effect as having a joint?
I had
or
a
having
gummy,
pipe?
probably.
It just takes a little longer, Dave.
I
You,
probably
you
had a
eat
gummy
one
a
or
couple of
two
years
and wait
ago.
about half an
I
hour or so.
showed up and
They sell
I
them
got it.
like they sell prescription drugs, Dave. They come in 10 milligram, 20 milligram, and 30 milligram gummies where I buy.
when we get into
So
this whole
100.
damn discussion, it really does piss me off. It really does. Not just because I don't make any bones about it. Anybody that knows John any length of time, I smoke. I say it all the time. I smoked my first joint in 1969, and I haven't stopped yet. All
I beat
through
you,
my
John.
fucking
I smoked
life.
my first one in
It-
1966.
Yeah, there you go. You beat me. I
beat you.
don't.
I was
Sorry.
1970.
You were
Yeah, you're
19.
a
Yeah,
young one.
yeah. I think we all pretty well made
1970,
it
my
through.
first joint.
You know,
Yep.
but it bothers me more now because and it's no lie, the real medicinal value that it has, and I'm seeing that in my life in real fucking time, and it pisses me off because I can't go down and get what makes my wife feel better. And right now, it's all about my wife feeling better.
She should be able to get it easy.
She can't get it fucking here.
She should be able to get it.
If I take her up to Austin with an appointment that might be 3 months from now, that's what I'm saying. Texas will make you jump through so many fucking hoops. It's not even funny. It's not funny.
Until one of
it's a game to them.
Until one of the state senators' family member or their daughter, their wife, or
they'll send them on vacation to Colorado. That's what they'll do because they got the money for that. Guess what? All of us don't. I can't take a vacation to Colorado. I wish I could. There's people there I'd love to go see.
No matter what the problem is, they've got the money to fix the problem. That's not all Americans. That's 1% of your bastards.
It tells me
know?
It's not just the pot. Because I smoke pot. I got pot here. But it wasn't pot like what helped her. That wasn't pot. It was an extract. It was a medicinal extract. So how come? What's the problem? What's wrong with my fucking state? That we want to suck up to, and that's what it is. It's on the tit of the American government, sucking as much money of the drug war that they could possibly get. Let's demonize the shit out of it so we can get more money. You know, they're throwing bales over the wall down there. And they just stand down there. You're going to get hit in the head with a bale coming right up. They're just, yeah.
It's Big Pharma. They don't want any competition. It's cheap.
That's true. That's true. That is true. Why would Big Pharma want you to have a medicine that you can grow in your backyard? They don't want that.
Yep. It worked for the centuries and centuries for those that before pharmacy and medicine came in. The Aboriginals in Australia were using it hundreds of years ago for pain and for misery.
Pardon a murderer, but hey, pot. Just say no. Kiss my ass.
He hasn't pardoned that guy, has he?
Huh?
He hasn't pardoned that guy, has he, Abbott?
No, not yet, but he wants to. He's going to. He's going to. He's signaled to the freaking world he's going to. He wrote a letter to the Board of Pardons telling them to put his sentencing in fast track so that he can go ahead and pardon him. Because, like I said, the guy hadn't even been sentenced yet. He hadn't been sentenced yet.
God.
And Abbott's jumping up, and the only reason he did was because Tucker Carlson slapped him.
Call him override that?
What's that?
If they felt like it, could the board override his?
No, governor can pardon anybody he wants. You're pardoned. What do you do? What do you do with an asshole like Abbott who is just willing to arbitrarily do this? Because, like I said, Tucker Carlson slapped him. It's not because he believes in this guy. It's because Tucker Carlson made a issue of it on Fox Spews. And all of a sudden, my governor rolls over and wants his belly rubbed. Look at me, I'm going to be a good Republican. I'm going to get that guy pardoned. We're going to have our own Kyle Rittenhouse down here. We'll glorify his ass.
Does Tucker Carlson support the pardon or not support the pardon?
Yes. Yes, that's what Tucker Carlson went on air and complained that Greg Abbott did not come to his show to discuss this case because Tucker Carlson, obviously this is a case of stand your ground. This man should be innocent and Governor Abbott needs to pardon him, and we invited him on to the show and he did not come. That was the line. And then the next day, what's happening? Greg Abbott wants to pardon this guy. Is it more obvious? Can you not see it that your governor is just kissing the ass of any right-wing nut job journalists out there? They're not journalists. They're fucking entertainers. Tucker Carlson is another one of those people that was born with a silver spoon stuck so far up his ass, he's never worked for a fucking thing in his life. Ever.
No.
He doesn't come up to the level of entertainment.
He fancies himself. He shows himself, in outdoor gear. Look at me. I'm going to go fishing at some fucking ranch up somewhere where you pay thousands of... Anyway, he's a suck-ass piece of shit.
Fortune? John, isn't he an heir to some fortune, or isn't he got some ties to some multi-millionaire type person? Did I hear that wrong? I heard he was going to inherit, or
I
he's an heir
think
to
he,
some.
I think he is, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was a large corporation.
Abbott?
He's the heir to. No,
Which-
Tucker Carlson.
Oh, Tucker Carlson. Well, his mother was
Yeah.
Swanson Foods, I think. You know, all them Swanson
Yeah.
dinners.
TV dinners.
TV dinners, baby. That's the family he came from. So yeah, he's never wanted for a thing in his life, but yes, he convinces millions of red-blooded American hillbillies that he's the real deal, and he's only looking out for your interest. Fuck you. You know?
Of course he is. He knows what it's like to be a battler. He knows what it's like to struggle. He knows what it's like to decide whether you buy medicine or food this week.
Yeah.
He knows all that.
He knows the true struggle of the American people. Ain't it sad? That's who they listen to. That's their flag waver, their banner holder. People like him, Sean Hannity, the rest of Judge Wino, the whole crackload over there at Fox News, which we are watching now.
They're in big trouble, John. They're in big trouble.
Married into the family. Well, he got in there, baby. Okay. Huh?
Would you check the hand that's raised
I'm sorry.
down there?
I am sorry. Oh, look at there. There's Tina. Let's get. Let me hurry up over here. I'm sorry, baby. Sometimes I just get rattling and I. Yeah.
It's all good. How is everyone?
I'm doing fine, Tina. And you?
How are you, Tina?
I'm doing just lovely. I'm doing ducky now. If it gets too loud, because I'm outside.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so you may.
Are you going to yell?
No, not today. Why?
Okay. I thought you might have been standing at the.
Only
No,
John.
I could just picture you standing out in the backyard saying, "I've fucking had enough of this."
And I'm not going to take it anymore.
I'm not taking it anymore.
I do represent that statement. Nonetheless, John's not the only one that gets into a rant up in here sometimes. It gets to be a lot to carry. It's a big burden for all of us. And all it takes is that one moment, and you're just like, this shit doesn't make any sense. Anyway. Listen, let's go back. Rewind the tape. At some point in your previous conversation, you said, what's the matter with my state? And the litany of things that are wrong with your state began to go through my head. So I'm...
Wait a minute. Are you in Missouri?
No, you.
She's talking about
Texas. My state. Yeah, what's wrong with my state?
Yeah.
Oh, let's don't go into the long list, baby. Let's keep it short.
Right.
Yeah.
It was an irony there. Anyway, here's the reason why I popped in, okay? So these are two things I learned today. Now, y'all already know. Oh, here it goes.
Echoes.
Yep, we got an echo.
I'm gonna leave.
All right, baby, come back.
Yeah, I want to know what the two things were.
Yeah, I was wanting to hear that story.
Okay, it's not Tina.
Oh wait,
No.
It's not Tina. Oh no, it's Karen.
Karen.
Is it me?
Karen, can you mute?
Is it me?
How do I do that?
You
Click
gotta
on the
hit the little
microphone.
microphone.
There you go.
All right, now do we hear it?
No.
Nope. That was it. That was it.
Okay.
Oh, so
Come back in.
Karen, you can come back in, but
Keep muted for. Yeah.
keep muted until you want to
You
speak.
want to speak?
Yeah, you need to lower your volume, Karen. That's what
She
it
doesn't
is.
know how to do that, DJ. We're working
I
on
know. We're going to have to teach her.
We'll have to work on that. While we're working on that, let me thank Maria Betancourt, who just came in with $5. Said Tucker Carlson's father married a Swanson. The Swanson family sold out to Campbell Foods, and Tucker isn't an heir to Swanson. Okay, Maria, I'll take your word for that. And then she came back. Wait,
Thank
you're going
you
to go
for
wrong
that.
telling me the story. $5. She came back with another $5 and said Tucker's father married a Swanson. That
Married
became
into money.
Tucker's stepmother. He is not an heir. Well, thank goodness for that, but he's got a shitload of money somehow. He's not working for a living, I guarantee
Well,
you that.
he's getting $30 million a year from Fox. That's what he gets paid from Fox. 30
Yeah, he doesn't
mil.
need to be an
And
heir.
Fox a sucker. All right, let me see.
Plus
Tina.
any
Let me
endorsements.
get Tina back up here.
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot. Hey, did I tell y'all I have buttons? And we're meeting in San Antonio
You did.
on May 19th, 20th, and 21st. I've got reservations at the Courtyard downtown in San Antonio, not too far from the Riverwalk. We'll be able to stroll over and see John and Carolyn Matjesco easily and enjoy the whole Riverwalk and all the festivities. So if y'all are within the San Antonio area on May 19th, 20th, or 21st, stroll on down. We're going to be there. You look for a rowdy crowd.
I looked up the Amtrak fees, John.
Yes.
In case people want to know, I looked up the Amtrak fees, and for me to go from St. Louis down there, which is over 1,000 miles, it's $266 round trip on Amtrak.
Yeah.
How much an airplane?
I've already made my reservations. Believe me, it put a dent in my. Yeah, but you know, we only do this every once in a while, so I really want to be there.
I want to be there. I'm
I
just trying to
assume
figure
I'll be
out.
able to pay for my room when I get there. They don't charge you till they get there, right? You can reserve
They
one,
don't like
but they
cash,
don't
they
charge
like
you
credit
until you
card.
get there. That's good. Huh?
They don't like cash. I've tried to travel on cash several times, and they don't want credit cards at hotels and places like
Really?
that. They don't want the
They
cash.
don't want cash?
No,
Well,
not at
here's
all.
what you do with your
Well,
cash. You put it in an
anyways.
envelope and you just mail it to, here it is, Post Office Box 260044. I'll take care of that problem for you, buddy. They don't want your cash. I'll take it. They take it down here. Anyway,
Oh,
you were
really?
going to say,
Okay.
Miss Chick?
Tina, back to your
Oh,
list.
Tina.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to. So I just wanted to comment on your comment, the irony of your statement. What's wrong with my state? But anyway, so I came in to say I learned two things today, and I just thought, the historian that I am, that I'd share these things.
And we're
So-
glad you will.
So a couple of you guys already know I'm reading Caste by Isabel Wilkerson, and it's just a stupendous book that I would recommend to anyone out there, because it is very enlightening. She's a wonderful writer, and she's such a good writer that you could put that book in a seventh grader's hand, and they would completely understand what she's saying.
That
Nevertheless, she's delving into some very serious historical facts about the United States. Her argument is that, and she's a Pulitzer Prize, she's got prizes, right? Don't quote me which one.
Right.
That being said,
An
okay.
award-winning author.
So, two things I learned today, back to the point. One, because I haven't finished her book, I'm still reading it. So she's talking about the Nazis. Because in her book, she's drawing the conclusion. Her thesis is that we live in a caste system, and she uses comparisons between the caste system in India, and she uses a comparison to the Nazis. So anyway, so she's going on and on about the Nazis, and at one point I realize, and I'm going to paraphrase as best as I can, but she says, the Nazis looked to the United States because they found that the United States had created this fully operational apartheid where they lynched black people and kept them in a underclass, still appeared to be heroes on the world stage, and had legislated the killing of black people and brown people of color.
Indeed,
So they looked to the United States and sat around. I mean, she's marking all the different players who are having the conversation, their point of views, what they wrote about it, what they said about it, all of that. So the Nazis were looking to the United States, and big people like Bell and Edison, they were fans and everything of Nazis, side note. But anyway, so they looked to the model of the United States in order to create the model that they utilized to exterminate the Jews. And then there's a caveat. They felt that the United States went too far with it when it came to the one-drop blood rule. They just felt that was the United
that was the
States
bridge too far.
was a bridge too fucking far. So that's one of the things that I learned today. And the second thing that I learned today is, speaking of World War II era, that the Nazis took their salute from us. When we used to say the pledge, we didn't put our hands over our heart.
No.
We put our hands up in the air.
Up in the air.
And that's where they got the salute from. So thank you very much, United States of America.
The more you know, that falls under. But you know, I've read articles that even post-war, the reason that Nazism still survives in this country and in South America the way it does is because they looked upon our system of freedoms in this country. They have a freedom of speech. They have all sorts of freedoms in this country. If they want to be a Nazi, they can be a Nazi.
Listen, the next person who says freedom, I'm going to hit them with a litany of all these new freedoms we have.
Yeah. And the right always preaches that they're coming for your freedoms. The only freedoms I think I see being threatened are those being threatened by the right, not by the left.
I'm talking about real freedoms that we've lost. You know, like things like going to the doctor and having the doctor actually treat you. Look, our health system already sucks. You just made it worse.
Yep.
Freedom to have or have your food identified. Come on, you guys. We can sit here. Everybody, think of one. There's stuff that are our freedoms being taken. You can't even buy a regular seed today.
A regular what?
To grow in your garden. Do you see what I'm saying? Your freedoms. Your children can't go outside and play. Freedoms. Your children can't go to school. Your children can't read.
Not without under the threat of being killed in some mass shooting somewhere.
Exactly.
You know,
that's what I'm saying. Your freedoms are being stripped.
Your freedoms are being traded for the glory of a gun.
So the next time somebody says, my freedom, they're taking away my freedom. Well, you hit them with all the freedoms that we've lost.
Yeah.
How about that?
Getting to your earlier point, we prefer to try to, and still to this day, try to hide most of our history. Most of our history is not a proud American history. We can be proud of a lot of accomplishments, but when it comes to race relations, and that doesn't matter whether you're talking black, indigenous people, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. We do not have a good track record, baby.
American history is pure fiction, John. Pure fiction.
Yeah.
Listen, America is living in fear. That's how you guys are living.
We're living in the fear of learning the truth about who we are.
No, you're living in fear that one day you could be standing in any building and someone can walk in because they're allowed to carry a gun into that building and just go pop, 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 and you don't go home
Every
that
one
night.
of us, every day when we walk into society, you're susceptible to that. Because, hey, it could happen anywhere, and we've already seen that. It doesn't matter if you're at the mall, at church, at the store. It doesn't matter where you are. It could happen. Somebody get pissed off at the bank. Hey, let's just take everybody at the bank out, and I have a weapon that can do it. That's the society we create. And that's the society we live in. And it's not the gun. It is the gun culture. There are plenty of countries around this world where guns are owned by, I keep pointing to Switzerland. They are one of the most, by per capita, they have more guns in their country than anywhere. You hear anything in Switzerland, people getting shot? No. The only time they ever pull it out is when they go to the gun range. That's it. That's it. It's not out on the weekends to go march with your buddies or play in the backyard. It's to go practice with, and then you take it home, and there's strict regulations on the shit. They don't have a problem. They don't have a problem anywhere except here, where we make it the number one God-given right, and I can own as many as I want, as much ammo as I want, and I can carry it anywhere I want. It's that kind of mentality that we have specialized in this nation.
Does it say anywhere in the Constitution that you can have the gun, but do you have the rights to have the bullets? Ban the fucking bullets if they don't want to ban the gun.
Yeah,
make the bullets
there you
unavailable.
Go. Make them where they're too expensive for you to buy. Insurance. Make them have insurance. You have insurance on your car, on your house, everything that you got insurance on. Gun insurance. Expensive gun insurance.
The Constitution doesn't say anything about bullets. How dare you infer that we can take away the bullets. This is atrocious. I
That
don't
one line
understand.
keeps running through my head. A
We
well-regulated
need,
militia does
we
not kill
need,
children.
we need good guys with gun.
Second Amendment
That's
starts
it.
with a
Yeah, right.
well-regulated militia. That's
Let
what
me
they're talking
add
Yeah.
about.
to it.
That's what the
And
Second
listen,
Amendment is about.
let me tell you, let me straighten you up about something else too while we're here.
Let's go.
It's
I'm ready.
not all about race. I don't know why people keep talking about race, because it's not about race. I mean, it's not about the foundation of the whole country. It's not about Jim Crow. It's not about the Voting Rights Act. It's not about the 13th Amendment still having slavery. It's not about the military, I mean, the prison industrial complex. And hell, you can throw the military industrial complex in there too, because I also learned yesterday. Thank God for Jon Stewart, the smartest man who should.
I
run
love
for
that guy.
president in the United States.
I love
He
that
needs
guy.
to be our president. I'm
I'd
the
vote for
first
him in a
to start
heartbeat.
putting it out into the universe. I want everybody to think it in their head and then say it out loud. We need to put it in the universe. Jon Stewart for president, because he shamed the devil in his
And
face.
I would vote for that man
And
in
the
a heartbeat.
lady-
I have
the
followed
lady
him
had
for
the
years, and
best
just
on.
because he's off his TV show doesn't mean he's lost his voice. If anything, he has
Oh, no,
picked
I
it
think it's
up.
better. I
Yeah.
think it's better. But
Go check out The Problem with Jon Stewart.
he talked to this lady and put her in her place. Here's the representative for the United States military. Well, you failed an audit for the sixth time. You don't know where $843 billion are. Oh, well, it's much more complex. No, Johnny, he's like, well, it sounds like corruption to me. And she's like, oh, no, there's separate things. He goes, okay, well, let's put it this way. You're a corporation, right? And the board of directors says, where's the $80 trillion that we've given you, $1 billion that we give you? And you say to the board of directors, I don't know.
I had it. It was here a minute ago.
60, listen, 60.
I was reading about that, Tina. I was reading about that, and it's 63% of their budget they can't account for.
63%. 63%.
Dear Liza.
Listen, she sat there so adamantly saying, no, it's not corruption. It is not corruption. You are missing. It's very obvious.
It's an accounting girl.
Is not.
Look here, you got the decimal in the wrong spot. Let me fix that for you, right? See?
And John,
We fixed it. Don't worry.
and John, him, not you, John. He just looks at her. He leans back. He gets real slow, and he goes, I'm gonna paraphrase badly, but I'm giving you the of it. He's like, well, I understand that. I can't understand the complexities of the military budget, but for the ordinary person, it sounds like corruption.
Let me put this out there, and I know Tina's the same way. Anybody else? I'm proud of my service. I am proud of my service to my country. But am I knowledgeable about the waste that the U.S. military, the defense industry itself, waste on a daily basis? Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Money by the wagon load, buddy. As a matter of fact, I brag all the time. I told my division chief one time, John, how's everything going? She came by. She came by. That's right.
You ain't talking about them $24,000 toilets,
yes.
are you?
Yes.
You're talking about the
Yes.
$24,000.
And you know what that is? That is because a defense contractor knows they don't have to describe. It's all in the description of what you want. Hammer? That's not a hammer. Let me give you a 3-page description of what this is so you fully understand the uses of it and everything. No, it's a fucking hammer. And any company, I mean, there are on the federal acquisitions rules, there are a million fucking ways for every company. Oh, you need that widget. Oh, well, we got the widget right over here. You need it right now? Yeah, we need one right now. Oh, we don't sell them by one. We sell them by 100. You got to buy 100 widgets here to get those. Okay, well, give me the 100 widgets. Okay, we get the 100 widgets. We fix the widget maker over here. Well, now we got 99 widgets we don't need. What are we going to do? We're going to send them to
Meanwhile-
property disposal office. They're going to take them over here and say, anybody want to buy this? Guess who the first buyer is? The company that sold it to you. They're going to run in and say, well, these things ain't worth the shit. We'll give you a penny for each one of them. Okay, there you go. We're saving money. Back on the fucking shelf. Next time you need a widget, oh, we got a widget. Repeat,
Okay, I would
rinse,
add-
repeat.
John,
It's
let me
a
just add
racket.
this. Let me add this.
What?
Meanwhile, you're
Meanwhile.
sending soldiers off to war with non-equipment, no bullets,
Don't worry. You'll be
no
fine.
Kevlar,
You'll be
no,
fine.
no. Listen, I'm
We're gonna-
through with them.
Yes. Baby, you're preaching to the choir. Am I patriotic and want to defend my... Yes, yes. Am I proud of my military? Yes. The soldiers and the sailors and the airmen that make up our... Yes. The contractors that support them? Fuck you. You would do anything in this country, anything in the world to screw this government over one more chance, and nobody does it better than good-fashioned red-blooded American. And I've witnessed that on my fucking street while they wave the American flag. Ooh, look at me, I'm patriotic. No! You just ripped the fucking government off for a bunch of fucking money. I rest
John?
my case.
in the command that I was under when I was working on the base, the air base, I better not say the name. Anyway, I've been in the property disposal room on the base, and they've got desks that are perfectly good,
Yes.
chairs that are perfectly good,
You know
computers
why?
that.
Because
Anybody can do.
everybody that gets a new office gets to order new furniture. I don't want that old guy's
Oh,
desk.
it's
Get that fuck
amazing what
out
they
of here.
have
I
in
get a
there.
new desk. What the fuck is wrong with that? Nothing. But it's not my desk. You know,
Yeah.
and it does. It goes to property disposal office. You want to buy things on the cheap? Check out your local PDO, your local federal property disposal office. You'll find everything in there from jet engines to a recliner or a desk. Fuck yeah, everything's for sale. It's the way we do business. And
Well, I
anybody
just-
that's been in this system can see it.
I just came in to rile you up. My job is accomplished.
Thanks, Tina.
So,
I love you, baby. Thank you
love
for coming in.
love you. You're welcome. Ciao, ciao.
And let me throw
Wow.
that in, Tina. I'm impressed. I noticed that this is not the first book that you've read here lately, and you're on a roll, baby.
She is.
I compliment you on your taste.
Yep. Her hands back up.
Oh, is it? It's
Yep.
really?
You
Well,
laugh.
wait a minute. What are you gonna do? You gonna jump in and out of here all over the place here? I'm gonna drag your butt back up here. Did you hear me?
Okay, but
I'm just
didn't
proud
let
of
me you didn't let me get all the way away from the conversation, so you said the question. I feel the need to answer. Listen, you gotta read. You gotta
You do.
read, folks out there.
It
You
is one of
gotta
the most
read.
relaxing
You
things that I
gotta
can do,
read. And it's not
and I
about,
don't do it enough.
for me, it's not relaxation. For me, it's for edification. It is so I know for myself. I have the material in my head that allows me to come up with my own opinion. And even a book doesn't necessarily
It influences your opinion. That's what
but
a
it
book
gives-
does.
it gives you
You
the,
form
the-
your own realizations over. We all read a book. We might all read
More
it
food
differently.
for thought. Yeah.
Exactly. And listen, just because somebody wrote a book doesn't mean that they don't have an ulterior motive within their book, because we're all human, okay? So you have to take that into consideration. It's called critical thinking.
Dare
Reading
you say?
is what
Them Republicans, they don't like that shit. You know that.
that's the reason why they
None of
want to
that.
take all the books away.
None of
They
that
want
critical
the book
thinking shit.
to be gone. We can't have that, okay?
Billy
We're
might
moving
feel
into
bad
a
about
new
himself.
millennium.
We can't have people thinking for themselves.
No, we'll
Well,
think for you.
You can't stop what's happening. You cannot stop what has already begun.
Don't say that, baby, because all of a sudden I'm worried about AI, and we're all gonna die
Listen.
because hell,
Oh,
AI
you
's
shouldn't bring that up.
Hey, let's
Don.
don't do it now because we're
No,
ending the
we'll
show.
do that later.
Yeah, we'll
You
do
can
that
worry
later
You
when
can
we're
worry
all
about
replaced by some computer somewhere that decides.
It's
that we're
worse
no-
than that, John.
I
It's
know it,
worse
brother.
than that.
It's-
Chaos GTP was given a direction to destroy humanity, and it went out and it actually researched and tried to
Well,
get information on nuclear armaments that it
there
could
you go.
control and all
If
kinds
it
of
gets
things.
into a system and a system within a system, our nukes are controlled by computers. And gee,
Well, it was trying to use
still takes
other
still takes
AI
a two-man
programs
team to
too.
launch one, though.
Yeah.
So-
Well, the reason it failed is because it said it couldn't control other AI programs that it needed to in order to get
They'll perfect
access
it.
to
Don't
these
worry.
things.
Don't worry, DJ. They're going to perfect that. And they're
Remember
computers, so they can
Stuxnet?
do it a lot faster than we can.
Remember Stuxnet?
No, I just
The
remember
Stuxnet worm that we
open the-
gave to Iran, and it caused the centrifuges to spin so fast they would
Yes, I
burn
heard
up.
about
That
I'm worried
Remember
about the
that?
one that said, when you tell it to open the bay doors, Hal, and Hal says, fuck you, you're going to die. That's the one I'm worried
Well,
about.
Oh, well,
So-
well, if you have an AI program and you can write a worm like Stuxnet and put the two of them together, you can get the access that AI program needs to
DJ,
do
don't
something
make me
bad.
start worrying about you. You know too much about this shit. All right?
Well, I've been a computer hacker for 30-some
Hey,
years.
hey,
so what can
hey.
I say?
Don't make me start worrying now. Anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up for the evening. I want to thank everybody for coming by and joining the conversation. DJ, you're not, tracking any of us, are you?
No, huh?
Okay, I just checking. Just
I
checking.
I wouldn't tell you.
That's true. That's true. I got to keep my eye on you, bud. Anyway,
I know.
DJ, thank you very much for coming in and joining the conversation, brother. We appreciate
Always
it.
a pleasure.
Always. Thank you. And let me see. I can't see for shit. Ozzy, I knew there was another guy in the room. I can't see.
That's
Ozzy.
me.
That's you, buddy. Just me, you, and DJ
That's me.
here. But it's equally spent.
Yeah.
Now we had 3 women, 3 guys.
Well,
Then we got
the gender these days has no real bearing on the quality
No,
of the
it does
conversation or what you can talk
Nope.
about. It is not like the old days where it's don't speak. There's women in the room. They want to be in
you
the
shouldn't
room.
be.
They want to hear the locker. They want to hear the locker room talk because they want to know what's going on. Like we want to know what's
It's
going
not
on.
our
So,
locker room talk.
um,
I'm interested. It's their locker room talk. And who knew? And who knew? Well, now we get to know. But Dave,
Anyway, good night, everyone.
Dave, anytime you come by, we appreciate it. Take care of
you.
yourself and try to come back Sunday. We're going to be here again. Go figure.
We'll try.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And let me see. Karen, are you in there? You're muted up.
Can-
She's
Got to
muted.
touch that mic button again.
Got to touch that mic button. Well, Karen, I hope you can hear me, darling. Thank you for coming in. I hope we get that mic issue fixed next time so we won't have any trouble with it. But thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. And Angie,
Hey, John.
thank you,
I'm
darling.
gonna- You're welcome. I'm glad I was able to set in on time today.
Set your watch, baby. We're here at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time every time. Or at least I try to.
Y'all have a great weekend.
You too, darling, and we'll see you again on Sunday, I hope.
Okay.
There you go. And miss you, chick.
Yes, John.
Darling, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're just like, you're just like Bernadette. I lean heavily.
Yeah,
So-
but once we get rolling, we get rolling.
We
don't
do. And what's the rule around here?
Anything goes.
And that's a good one. And the other one is like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
Yes, down there. Like, share, and subscribe to a Blue Dot in Texas. We appreciate it. Those numbers mean the world to us. And to our Blue Dots on Facebook, on YouTube, we want to thank you so much because that conversation, as much as I try to keep up with it, I love it. It just goes on. Mark Perkins, good night. Maria Betancourt, thank you, darling. Good night to everyone. BW, see, everybody's saying good night to everybody. It's a
Yeah.
family thing. I love it. To our donors tonight, we appreciate it tremendously. And to those on our Patreon page, thank you so much for the help that you give this family to pay the bills. I appreciate it tremendously. Uh-oh. Anyway, nope. It's a piece of fuzz on my damn thing. So, anyway, we'll be back here again Sunday for another Blue Dot family meeting. So please come by and join us. I'll be drinking a Bud Light tomorrow for Beer and Bud Friday. So look out for that and enjoy your weekend as much as we can. But don't ever forget that we're in the fight of our lives. And we need to stay in it, baby. Anyway, DJ, Miss Chick, y'all say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. We will see you again on Sunday.